Yeah. Never dispose of the pen, I'm at it again, we close to the end. The older I get, emphatic I am. They try to pretend, they try to be friend, wreak havoc instead. Look at the trends, can't comprehend my dramatic ascent. I'm heavenly sent, they try to condemn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the man. Yeah, different vision but the same goes. Big collision off the main road, that's the beaten path where my brain goes. Fuck the devil's wrath off my halo. Hella stones, no Thanos. Hella gold, no rainbow. This is hella genius in my brain lobes.
What's going on, Beaches? Welcome to episode 1059. We are here. We are ready for the Sunday Funday Q&Anus. The Q and the Hanus.
Hardly upset, but you testing me though. All of these stats are depressingly low. Why your girl think I'm a specimen though? Drums and them perks is my medicine though. There's no comparison. Black in America, little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it. That's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send in my sentiments. Neck full of sediments. Cop me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Drop the investment in Silicon Valley. All this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they breaking the chassis. King of the grass like I'm Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors at labels is testing.
What's up? What's going on, fam? What's up, peoples? What's going on, sheeples? What's going on, Kayla, Dale, David, Sean, Christopher, Amanda, Sean, Holly, Kaylee, Carrie, What's up? What up, Beaches? What up, Beaches?
Never dispose of the pen, I'm at it again. We close to the end. The older I get, emphatic I am. They try to pretend, they try to be friend, wreak havoc instead. Look at the trends, can't comprehend my dramatic
huge,
ascent. I'm heavenly
muscular,
sent, they try to
yes,
condemn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the man. Yeah, different vision, but the same goes. Big collision off the main road, that's the beaten path where my brain goes. Fuck the devil's wrath off my halo. Hella stones, no Thanos. Hella gold, no rainbow. This is hella genius in my brain lobes. Hella gross as far as revenue goes. Bought me a net for these Benjamins though. You not a threat, you an enemy though. Broke me a sweat, killing enemies slow. Body offset, all these feminine flows. Hardly upset, but you testing me though. All of these stats are depressingly low. Why your girl think I'm a specimen though? Drums and them perks
Nice.
is my medicine though.
So those of you that are Swolenormous X members, we got some foam rolling, we got some myofascial release, a new video coming today. But I'll go live in the private group and talk about that. But that's already been uploaded. Just got to do the thumbnail for the site. So members are going to have some new content today, as always dropping new shit. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get some new YouTube content up for tomorrow. We got so much content, only so much time to edit. Sheesh. Fucking can't keep up. I can't keep up. Gotta get some people to edit some shit. I got so much stuff. So much stuff to edit. So many yummy videos. So many videos. Get my coffee ready. Get my stuff ready. Ready for this fucking Q&A. Where's everyone? It's a beautiful day on a Sunday. No one wants to be here. I get it. The day that I want to do tons of fucking live Q&A. So those of you that are live, you're getting the beast. You're getting some beast interaction today. I want to go live hard live. They try to pretend, they try to be friend, wreak havoc instead. Look at the trends, can't comprehend my dramatic ascent. I'm heavenly sent, they try to condemn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the man. Yeah, different vision, but the same goes. Big collision off the main road, that's the beaten path where my brain goes. Fuck the devil's wrath off my halo. Hella stones, no Thanos. Hella gold, no rainbow. This is hella genius in my brain lobes. Hella gross as far as revenue goes. Bought me a net for these Benjamins though. You not a threat, you an enemy though. All right, let's get this party started. Sunday Funday Q&Anus. 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Making
sick fucking gains, making sick fucking gains. It's Papa Swole, Papa
The birds are
Swole.
chirping. The bacon is sizzling.
Testing, testing, testing,
Welcome
testing,
to the
testing.
Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testing, testicles, 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 testing, testicles, testing, testing, testing. Welcome everyone to episode 1059 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and the slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on? Welcome to the Sunday Funday Q&Anus. Those of you that might be catching for the first time, we're live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And reminder that if you're following on YouTube, I got two channels. I got the main Swolenormous channel, where I put my nuts on your chin, where we go the driving while gaining, where we got the Ask Papa Swole, all that stuff. And then also, there's also the Daily Swole podcast channel, where I'm doing the live streams every day. So make sure you go check out and subscribe to both of those channels. I need to post that up and let everyone know that likes to follow on YouTube. However, I'm also streaming live. So if you like to listen or watch and do all that stuff on YouTube, all these live streams are over there too. Some people just don't like to go on Facebook. I get it. But that's why I stream everywhere. So I don't miss a spot. I'll be everywhere. You like to watch on fucking Twitter? I got you. Periscope. I got you. I'm over there too. You like Instagram? I'm on Instagram. You like Facebook? Don't you worry. Hey, you're a Twitch person? It's okay. I'm over there too. I'm everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. It's kind of ridiculous. So a couple things. One thing in particular, I posted this in my Instagram story, and I want to remind everyone that Papa Swole, your boy, if you like this podcast, I think you will really, really like the Swolenormous audio experience. So if you have not yet checked it out, and if you didn't know, that Papa Swole's got two podcasts. As much as I do everything in a big way, go check out the Swolenormous audio experience. It's still available everywhere that the Daily Swole is available. And the Swolenormous audio experience, you get little snippets, you get very direct, very tactical things behind the scenes oftentimes. So you can go check it out and subscribe and leave your reviews and check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, everywhere that you like to listen, Castbox, all that shit. You can check out the Swolenormous audio experience too. And that's a great place for throwback episodes, for throwback content, all sorts of stuff and more that I want to do over on that podcast. But make sure you go and blow that up and check that out too. It means the world. And really, if you want to find all the latest and you want like the latest play-by-play, it's my Instagram story is where I really drop like the latest things and what I've done and what's available and where it's posted. That's a great place to see what's going on and when. So yeah. So that's that. And that's pretty cool. What up? What's up, Mike? What's up, Tamara? John, what up? Joe Vicina, packing up the house, getting ready to move this summer, packing heavy, get swole while moving. Nothing wrong with that. Just pack up some heavy shit. Back up some heavy fucking shit. All right, here we go. So let's do, so today, those of you that, I didn't pin the post on Instagram. So for those of you that might be new to this is the Sunday Funday Q&Anus. So we're doing a ton of questions. We're going to do a ton of live questions. So if you have them, just drop your questions. But I'm going to start by going after the questions that were posted on those question posts, right? The ones where it says Sunday Funday Q&A. Anytime you see in my feed, anywhere you see Ask Papa Swole, you see Sunday Funday Q&A, make sure you drop your questions, because that's where I'm pulling these questions from and using it for all the content, whether it's Ask Papa Swole or whether it's the Sunday Funday Q&A. So I'm always trying to figure out what you want to talk about. And I love answering your questions because that's the best content for you. That's stuff you want to know about. So let's talk about the shit that you want to talk about. How about that? How about that shit? How you like them apples, huh? How you like them fucking apples? Well, that's your boy Papa Swole. That's how I roll. All right, so let's get into one of the first questions on the feed, and I'll let all of you type in your questions here, and we'll go back and forth from the live feed and Instagram and Facebook. This one's from Jesus Botello G. First of all, big fan. Thank you, Jesus. And second, how did you get your mindset where it is today? Like, did you have to bro through anything or go through anything major to change the way you think, or was it more of everyday trying to be better type of deal? It's the positivity I pump into my ear holes. A lot of you follow some good podcasts like mine, and others, it's what you read, it's who you surround yourself with. And once I really figured out what I wanted to do and when I really focused, I mean, I've had this mindset essentially when it comes to my fitness, my personal training, like my personal fitness approach, since when I started, which was like 99, 2000. And that was before, look, fitness was already popular. It was already getting, really big, but it wasn't aerobics. It was kind of like that heyday before social media where we had instant messenger. You had ICQ, MySpace was just kind of getting started. Facebook wasn't even invented yet. So this was before information. Information was a lot of places, but it wasn't like you couldn't find so much. Now we have too much information. So we went from not having much. We had a lot of information, but you had to go to the library, you had to read books, you had to go find it. Now we have so much information, we have extra. So that's where a lot of my content comes in. A lot of my content, as you know, helps you sift through all that bullshit and focus on what's most important and the things that actually truly work. And a lot of that other stuff is just fluff that you don't need to worry about yet. So for me, a lot of times I was having, I was doing it before a lot of you even started. So I imagine what you get when you go to work or you bring your food or you eat certain things or you're taking certain supplements or you're doing certain things a certain way and people are giving you weird looks and people are saying weird things. I was so focused on getting results, I didn't care what anyone thought. So I've translated that over into other aspects of my life. And I didn't always do this, but once I wanted to do this and do a podcast and create this online media company, what I really did was just, I put my head down. I still do. Any content I make, I'm always going to get negativity. There's always going to be people. Now that it's just, I have exposed myself to more of that bullshit. I expose myself by making this content, by doing podcasts, by putting my opinions out there. I'm making myself susceptible to what other people think. And that's just part of the game. That's part of the thing where, okay, now people can have their opinion and comment on my pictures, on my posts, on my videos, on my podcast, and be like, hey, you're a fucking jabroni. And I could say, no, I'm not. You're a jabroni. And they say, nuh-uh, you are. I'm like, nuh-uh, you are. And we can have that back and forth, which is always fun. But I avoid that. Everyone's always going to have things to say. And when it comes to the mindset, it's like any kind of thing. You're sharpening a sword, you're sharpening a tool, you're refining your skills, you're refining your mindset. And it's not so easy just to go to a conference or watch a video. Sometimes you'll have that moment where you're like, ooh, that's legit. I'm changing. It's like someone quitting alcohol or quitting cigarettes. You have that moment where you can just change and be a different person. But most of the time, it's something that you cultivate. It's something that you change and that you whittle away and you sharpen, and that changes with who you are as a person. So it has to be the right time, but it's something that you have to, I guess, insulate yourself and sharpen your own mind and keep on continuously sharpening, because that shit will dull quickly if you're not feeding it. So you can stay inside your own head, but it's really effective when you have you're surrounding yourself with people, you're surrounding yourself with books and with podcasts and things that are shouting positivity into your fucking ear holes, and you're blind to all the bullshit that's out there. If you have real true goals, okay, there's always going to be everything that you want in the world out there, but you have to focus on the most important things that's going to get you the results that you want. So if you want results and you have specific goals, then it only matters what you're fucking focusing on. And you need to put your head down and slam that out. Half man, half amazing on Instagram. Good question, by the way. Thank you. I hope that answered your question. If half man, half amazing 84, if you work out late, is it better to eat than bed or just bed and good breakfast? I would eat after you work out. I would avoid working out late at night if you can, and do it first thing in the morning, preferably. But, if you prefer to not eat before bed, you don't really want to be sleeping on a full stomach either. I would just try both and see what you like and what feels better for you. A lot of times people will eat before bed, and because your body is supposed to be sleeping, not digesting a massive meal, that you might have trouble sleeping. You might not get into a deep enough sleep because your body is focusing on other processes. So if you're eating heavy and you find you don't sleep as well when you're eating food, a big meal, then you might want to just keep it lighter and have a better breakfast in the morning. I would prefer to not eat first thing in the morning and do some type of restricted eating window, or I would just prefer not to work out late at night. I really don't prefer working out late at night right before bed. If I work out, it's like evening, but I don't like doing late night workouts. But I understand some of your schedules might only allow for that. Next question, let's go for Muted Blush on Instagram. How do you plan meals around your workout, and how do you know if you're eating enough? Well, I mean, how do you know if you're eating enough? Are you gaining or losing weight? Are you seeing results? You're not going to know like in the single day what you're doing. If you're trying to gain or lose weight, you need to be tracking, you need to be monitoring your food intake if you're that concerned. If you're not gaining weight, you're not eating enough in general. If you're not losing weight, you're either not eating the right foods or you're still eating too much. So it always helps after you figure out what foods your body reacts best to then keep an eye on and track and then measure what you're eating. Because if you don't know, you can't change anything. If you're just eyeballing shit and you're someone who really wants to lose weight, then it behooves you to have more data. So then after you figure out what foods you're consuming and what foods are best for your body with an elimination diet and all those things that we've talked about ad nauseum here on the podcast, then you need to start figuring out what you're consuming so you know how to adjust, whether it's more or less. A lot of times people eat too little calories and their body kind of goes into a starvation mode and restricts weight loss. So that's very common too for people that are trying to eat 1,000 fucking calories a day and literally try to give themselves the concentration camp diet. How do I plan my meals around my workout? I usually have a sweet potato an hour or half an hour before. That's what I like to do. And I'll eat after. And I don't really put too much pressure on any kind of like eating window right after. I just go home and I eat my fucking food. I usually walk the dog and stuff like that. And I'll be live streaming sometimes when I do that. So I usually like to have a little bit of something before I work out, depending on what time of day I'm working out. If it's first thing in the morning, I'm not going to eat. If it's in the afternoon, I usually like to have a sweet potato or something. It just digests really well for me and I like it. My thoughts on intermittent fasting, talked about this so many times. It's fine. Restricted eating windows are fine. Intermittent fasting is pretty much just skipping breakfast. You're not eating till later in the day. But what people call intermittent fasting is just a restricted eating window, which is effective. So I like to get away from that kind of intermittent fasting fad phrasing because most people don't really understand that it's really the time restricted eating that is what people call intermittent fasting. So that's what's most important. It's good not to eat. The human body is meant to not eat. The human body is designed to go without food. So we're just completely pounding ourselves with way too many calories in general. That's why we're fat. Be Fit with Carrie on Instagram. How to fit knee varus. Knee varus? You mean knee valgus? I'm assuming you meant knee valgus, knees caving in. What kind of exercises would you recommend? Glute medius activation, doing lateral work in the frontal plane. I have not very noticeable knee varus. I'm not sure if you're explaining it properly because that's knee valgus. But I have pain in my inner knee. I'm doing lots of foam rolling on the medial part of my calves, strengthening my foot muscles. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if you had a typo there. So if you're, for example, for most people, I'll just rephrase that question for what most people are going to deal with. If you have knees caving in, if you have excessive hip, also called hip adduction, when your knees kind of like knock knee, your knees are bending in, also known as knee valgus. I'm not sure if that's what you meant because that's really common. I know varus is the opposite of valgus, but I'm just making sure that this person is saying it properly because people oftentimes misinterpret that. So people will call it one thing and then they don't realize that theirs is the opposite. It's happened many times. I get this in my DM a lot. So I'm just explaining both. If your knees are caving in, for example, you want to work the vastus, the gluteus medius. You want to work in the frontal plane outside. If your knees are bowing out, then you need to work on the opposite. You need to work on the muscles on the inner part of your hip. You need to work on your adductor activation. You need to work on your glute activation. Anytime you have instability, whether your knees are going out or going in, it's because your glutes are not activating properly. Okay, that is a fundamental sign. If you do not have proper femoral alignment, it's because your glutes are not locking shit down enough. So if your knees are going out and your thighs are bowing out, you need to work on the inner thigh. If your thighs are kind of bending in, you have a really sharp Q angle, you need to be pulling that out with your gluteus medius activation and your lateral work. So foam rolling on the medial part of your calves, strengthening your foot muscles, all of that's good. All of that's good, but it's coming from the hips. It's usually coming from the hips. Anytime you have issues, it's generally coming from the hips. It could also come from the ankles. So yoga is very effective, but if your knees are going out, it's going to be strengthening the inner part of your thigh. If your knees are going in, it's going to be the outer part of your thigh, the outer part of your hips. Ankle flexibility, sure. Yeah. Fixed some knee valgus recently. Yeah, severe. It depends on where it's coming from. Most people are sitting down all the time, and most people are wearing elevated heel sneakers. So most people's ankles and feet are completely fucked up from wearing footwear. Sneakers are terrible. High heels are god awful. Boots are terrible. All this type of footwear is garbage for human beings and for posture. So footwear is terrible to start, and also the sedentary position chronically over time is terrible as well. Evan SC live on Facebook. As a sports massage therapist, I'm always on my clients about psoas, strength and flexibility. General thoughts? Yeah, the psoas is usually very, very tight and also very, very weak. So people usually misinterpret tightness and shortness for strength, which is not correct. A lot of people think, oh, it's short and tight. That means it's fucking strong and tight. No, it could be very, very fucking weak, but also shortened and stiff and very immobile. So it's very important. The psoas is commonly fucked up, as well as most things in the hip region for people. So, shortness in muscle or improper stiff positioning doesn't mean that it's strong. And just because the psoas might be affecting your hip flexors, might be affecting and giving a anterior pelvic tilt, doesn't mean that the hip flexors are strong. It just means that they're shortened, their resting length is shortened, and that's chronically throwing people out of postural position. Wendy, is there truth in you shouldn't eat after a certain time? I don't eat till like 1, and then later after like 8, everyone says it's too late to eat. If you're getting out of your window of eating, it could be too late to eat. Usually you don't want to eat anywhere outside of like a 12-hour window. You usually want to consume all your food generally within like an 8 to 12-hour window. So if you're eating at 9 a.m. and you're eating at 11 at night or 1 in the morning, obviously you're going 14, 15, 16 hours, and your body starts reabsorbing certain enzymes and digestive properties after a certain time frame, because your body works on a circadian rhythm. So it's during daytime that your body is going to be digesting food. And after that, it becomes less effective at digesting food if you're going outside that normal cycle. But most people's cycles are so fucked up that you don't notice those kinds of details because people are very, very irregular. Yeah, psoas is one of the muscles. Psoas, iliacus major and minor. Or the iliacus, psoas major and minor. Psoas is both parts. You can check it out. Do you play any sports or just mostly lift and do yoga? No, I don't play sports. You mean mindless activities? No, I'm not a professional athlete. No interest in sports. I do enough physical activity with training and stuff like that. Water intake, 1 gallon a day, no matter what. Thoughts on too much, too little? It's a general average. Some people need more. Some people don't need quite as much. Depends on your body mass and your level of exercise and your environment. Next question is Sad Savage Spartan on Instagram. When doing the elimination diet, is it okay to add foods you don't feel ever affected you negatively? For example, are things like chicken, beef, or even eggs usually okay to add back into your diet early? It truly depends. A lot of times when the reason why you want to do an elimination is that your body adapts to foods that you think are good and they turn out to be fucking up your body. Your body's just adapted to them. And what's also tricky is a lot of people that eat healthy, the reason why they tend or they cheat and they're like, well, I feel fine when I eat pizza and I feel fine. If you have a healthy gut biome, if you happen to, and you go and you eat absolute poison garbage, your body is also in a healthier position. So sometimes those invaders or those artificial foods might not impact you negatively. So a lot of times that might be disguised, or people misinterpret that as like, oh, this doesn't bother me. Well, if you have a healthy gut biome and your intestines are healthy and you don't have major gut leakage and all that shit, you eat something bad, your body's like, what the fuck is this? And just kind of gets rid of it and can handle it. When you have more porous intestines and things are not working properly, those foods are going to affect you more negatively potentially. So it's not always a good measure of, oh, I ate something bad, I'm going to have massive, massive side effects. Your body is oftentimes healthier and can handle that. So foods that you have adapted to, that's why it's good to eliminate and to test foods, because your body will adapt to certain foods and then you won't notice those changes because your body has already adapted to it. So your body is dealing with that chronic inflammation from those foods and those chronic issues because you've never tested them. So there could be other aspects to this. That's why you always have to pay attention. That's why you're always learning. That's why even if you do an elimination, you still need to be aware and observe what is going on with your body. It never ends. And then your body might change over time. The way you are when you're 25 is going to be different when you're 45. So you need to understand this development and be aware of how your body, that's why an elimination is so powerful. It's because it teaches you how to pay attention to these signals that your body is sending you so you can make better decisions and be aware of these things and catch them before they might cause major issues down the line. It's just the process of learning, reassessing, and, just always being a student of your body. Being a student of your body is I guess, the best way to think about it. Sabrina, after an early morning workout, I don't feel hungry most of the time. Is it okay to skip breakfast? Sure. You don't feel hungry right after because your body is still in sympathetic mode. Your body won't really feel hungry until you've resettled. Your parasympathetic nervous system, your quote housekeeping mechanism has kind of shifted back into gear. When you're training, your body is focusing on getting blood to your muscles, focusing on increasing your heart rate, increasing your respiratory rate, and flooding the muscles full of blood. When you are outside of that, when you're resting, like right now, my body is focusing on cleansing my body in terms of like my lymphatic system is working harder. My urinary system, right? My body's filtering urine so I can pee. That's why a lot of times you don't feel like you have to go to the bathroom and then you're in the car. And by the time you get home, 15, 20 minutes, all of a sudden you got to piss like crazy. It's because your body has shifted back into like normal housekeeping mode. What do I personally do between sets when doing strength training? I breathe. I drink some water. I'll answer a comment on Instagram probably. I'll walk around or I'll do some kind of like active stretching. I do another set. If you're resting too long, then you're not really doing strength training. Well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, strength training is actually a little bit longer rest, but my body has not wanted breakfast, but I'm wanting to gain. Is that bad? If you're not gaining, it could be. Then you need to eat more. If you're trying to gain, you need oftentimes more times to eat calories and good calories to gain weight. If you're having trouble gaining weight, then you need more time to eat. Then skipping breakfast isn't your main purpose, your main goal. That's why the whole bodybuilding thing, eating 6 small meals a day, got popular, because you're trying to eat healthy food and you're trying to eat more calories. You need more times a day to eat. You don't want to waste time because it's going to be harder to pound 3,000 calories in one meal than it is to do 500 calories 6 times a day. It's not going to fucking change. It's better. It's easier for your body and better for your body because it gives it more time to freaking get that food through. You're not going to feel like a bag of fucking fat shit. You'd be sick trying to eat healthy food in that much quantity. It's not normal for the body. It's not good. It's really not good to eat that much at one time, if you even could. I'm almost 60 and fearful of getting the old lady lower body pooch. Okay. My older clients tell me no amount of nutrition or workouts will prevent it. Please tell me this is hokum. Well, what the hell is hokum? Is that like a hokum? Is that all these words? Oh, please tell me it's hokum. Old lady lower body pooch. Well, maybe it can't be prevented. Then you just need to focus on your fucking nutrition and go hardcore and keep on training and be healthy. You're eventually going to start decomposing and dying. Like, we're all going to death. So you're not going to maintain like a youthful physique forever, but you're still going to be able to maintain as best as you can maintain. Just do your thing. You can't be worried about how you look when you're 80 years old. You have to be focusing on health and longevity. Your goals have shifted. Your goals need to shift. If you're eating healthy, there's no reason why you have to have like a saggy pooch, but a lot of times hormonal shifts and people don't address that with proper nutrition. And most people are eating like crap. Most people are stressed, and those types of hormone imbalances as you get older can affect that. But anti-aging and hormone replacement and those types of things are all possibilities for people nowadays with science getting more and more on point. I know I gather that hokum is nonsense, but that's like, holy throwback. What decade is that from? You mean Hocus Pocus? Who says that? What region says that word? Cracks me up. So I hate doing sit-ups, most boring exercise to me. Okay, shouldn't do sit-ups anyway. Worthless. Worthless sit-ups. You don't need them. I mean, it's good to be able to do them, but what other type of exercise can I do besides a typical sit-up or crunch? Planks, any type of leg raise, any type of other core activation exercise, total body exercise, yoga, fantastic. Daniel, how often do you eat grass-fed beef? Regularly. A lot of people don't recommend too much, and a lot of people eat it regularly and have great health. So you need to figure out what foods absorb and digest best for your body. Andrew, I heard recently not to stretch before a workout. Wouldn't this make you more likely to pull a muscle? Not stretching means differently than doing a dynamic warm-up. I wouldn't do a ton of static stretching before, but I would warm up, get your heart rate up, and I would definitely do a lot of dynamic stretching. Travis, I haven't seen you live in a minute. What up? I wanted to ask you if you've seen the NCAA tournament. No, I don't watch it. Zero fucks. God, I couldn't give less of a fuck about the NCAA tournament. No care. Sometimes I follow generally sports, but nah, I don't care about college basketball. Sorry. How they've been trying to slam orange vanilla Coke crap down everyone's throat. Advertising. They've always been trying to slam Coke down people's throat. If I work out first thing in the morning, is it necessary to eat something? Yes and no. Depends on how you feel. We just answered that question, so you might want to rewind the podcast a little bit. Let's see. Thanks, dude. Let's see. CL Tulk. I always see guys with bad posture doing resistance training. This has to kill your gains. Should postural problems, forward head, hunch, shoulders be addressed, or is yoga enough? Well, yoga will address them, but yeah, everything should be directly addressed until it's improved. So yoga could be enough, but depends on what it is. And I'm not so worried about bad posture killing gains. I'm worried about it destroying joints and causing injuries. So it can definitely affect your gains because you're not hitting the muscles properly. What kind of coffee do I drink? I just get a good quality coffee from my store. I don't order it online or anything fancy like that. I could, though. I'm fine with a quality Starbucks brew or some kind of single origin, some organic blend at my local store. I'm sure there are better, higher quality coffees I can get, but I just kind of get into a routine. I'm good right now. Oh, I'm a Big Bang Theory fan. I've never watched the show. It's one of Sheldon's words. I see. I don't watch that show. Stimulate or annihilate on biceps. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Stimulate or annihilate? What? I don't understand what you're asking. You mean do a set or do a million sets? Jacob, currently doing the row preacher curl. I couldn't find an instructional video on it. Is okay for my arms to be just inside my knees instead of on top? Sure. I mean, yeah, there's not going to be an instructional video. It's just a little bit of a tweak on it. I wouldn't really focus on doing that too much. I would focus on more basic exercise. That's kind of like a specific, finisher. It could be good if you don't have a preacher curl bench. I would go where you feel it the most. For sure. I would kind of play around with the angle a little bit. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different when it comes to like how wide their shoulders are and where you're gonna feel it the most. That's where you get all these little tweaks with exercise form. You'll get people that say, no, do it this way, do it that way. Well, everyone's body's a little bit different, so you might feel it with a different angle. Andrea, I got super sore from squats. How do you combat the soreness when it's like 4 days of hella sore? One, you don't overtrain that much. You probably did too much for your body. You overdid it if you're sore for that long. I mean, I've been sore for long like that too, but now that I look back on training, I do think that most people overtrain and do way too much in a specific workout, more than you need. You can probably compress that type of overload into doing less actual sets, go harder and do less overall volume. It depends on your frequency. You're not going to combat the soreness with just foam rolling, even nutrition, sleep, foam rolling, all that stuff. If you're crushing your legs and causing enough micro trauma, you're just going to be sore anyway. It doesn't change that much. No one's ever just like, oh, I foam rolled a little bit and I feel great. Well, if you foam rolled a little bit and you feel great the next day, you weren't really that sore to begin with. If you're crushing yourself, and a lot of you know what I'm talking about, like when you're really sore, when you're sore to the touch and you're really fucking, foam rolling is going to hurt. And the next day you're still going to hurt. It's not going to make it all better. So you might just be doing too much, especially when you're natural. When you're natural training, you're not taking exogenous hormones and you're trying to do your best and recover. Remember, we need to focus on recovery in the programming. If you're doing 4 days, 5 days, 6 days of damage, and I've been there, trust me, I've been there. I just don't condone it anymore. I don't promote that to people. You want to beat yourself up, but you can beat yourself up plenty with a lot less sets. You can just go hard with less volume. You don't need tons of volume. I would focus more on a little bit on the frequency side, rather than just to damage yourself for like 4 or 5 days. It just might be too much. You might not need it. Obviously, you're sore to the point where, if you don't want to be quite as sore and you're still doing all those other methods, proper hydration, proper nutrition, proper sleep, all those things, then you might just want to back off a little bit and maybe hit it twice in a week and try that too. Different options. You have to see what works best for you. Thank you. Just trying to share my experiences. So if I don't know something, by the way, most of you know, if I don't know something, I'm not going to talk out my ass. So if I don't know about a subject, I'll ask you, or I'll be like, I don't fucking know. Because there's a lot of things I don't know, or there's a lot of things more so than that. If I have experience, I'll tell you my personal experience. But there's stuff I haven't tried. I'm just going to tell you that I haven't tried it. But another thing is, even if sometimes I have a strong opinion, like if it's dangerous for you, I'm going to lay it on you and be like, don't fucking do that. But of course, it's my opinion. There's some things that might not work wonderfully for me that might work wonderfully for you. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I didn't used to crush my body part, like my legs. I used to fucking do legs and I'd be sore for 9 days to the touch. But that's like crippled. I was handicapped. I don't think that was a good idea. I don't think that was a determining factor in me making progress. If anything, looking back, it's like, shit, like I would never train that hard now. I would never push myself into that kind of like a pit. I blast my body, I give myself overload, and then I back off, and then I don't know, I'm just in a different place. I'm in a different place, but I definitely didn't need that. I definitely didn't need that. So if I can help you not cause major damage, because when you cause that much overload and you cause that much fucking trauma when you're that sore for 4, 5, 6 days, it's going to affect how you move for other exercises. How many of you have done a hardcore leg day and float some hearts and some hands and gorillas and stuff? How many of you have done a hardcore leg day and then you didn't want to do barbell rows because your legs were so fucked up? You couldn't do any kind of like standing curls, you just wanted to sit down. It affects your ability to move for other exercises. Not to mention your legs are fucked up and damaged. If you try to do a barbell row, you might pull a hamstring. You might hurt your back because your legs aren't stabilizing properly because they're fatigued. Like it puts other things at risk. So when you have that much inflammation in the body, remember your body's trying to recover from that. And you start to lose connection with your body. You start to lose that awareness of how sore you are. And your body starts to adapt to being more damaged. And then you forget, look, a lot of people get injuries. A lot of people have imbalances. And when you have that kind of a breakdown, when let's say your calves are super sore or your legs or ham are super fucking sore, you're going to walk differently. It's going to change your posture. And if you're not practicing a lot of mobility and you're not recovering, remember, if you're recovering enough, okay, that's one thing. If you're doing legs, but you're giving yourself a week to recover, okay. However, that might not be as effective as backing off a little bit and training it once every 4 or 5 days. You might want to call that twice a week. I call that once every 4 or 5 days because that's not going to land evenly twice a week all the time. But I think doing a cycle and doing a fitness cycle and a training cycle where you're kind of moving through the same kind of pattern every 4 or 5 days is kind of more ideal for the average person. But it also depends on your schedule. Some people work on a Monday through Sunday schedule because of work, and I understand that. If you're just going by like, hey, what day is today? I'm going to train. And it doesn't matter if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday for you for schedule and family wise, then I think 4 or 5 days is a great kind of cycle period. I appreciate that, Meredith. I appreciate that. I want to answer. I want to answer every question. I want to have an answer. I would love to have an answer to every question. So unfortunately, sometimes I don't have an answer. I just have an opinion or personal experience. But if it helps give you a little bit more insight, I'm just going to tell you what I think, of course. Let's see. It affects the way you walk. Fuck yeah, Mike. Hell yeah, it does. Andre. Hey, Papa. What up, Andre? I have upper and lower cross syndrome. Hold on. Oh, yeah. And just started the 90-day dash. That's the program or the first program inside Swolenormous X. For those that don't know, should I keep my corrective work on top over the 90-day dash, or will the yoga and the 90-day dash, quote, do it for me? Good question. I would be working on it as well. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by what you're doing. Are you doing some of the corrective stuff in X as well? The yoga will definitely help. And when you're starting the 90-day dash, like the total body awareness workouts are excellent for improving posture. So is the Swole 7, the mobility series. So, there's a lot of stuff in X that will directly help improve those kinds of postural distortions. So those types of things, the Swole 7 is great. Those corrective exercises that you need to do, I would do those for warm-ups, but I would be hesitant to move into like the hardcore sections, like the Ignite or the Swole. I wouldn't progress too far too fast. I would stay to more of the total body or upper lower along with your correctives until you improve your postural alignment. You don't want to go crazy with heavy resistance when you're not moving properly yet. Let's see. Let's go over here. Why is Instagram is dark? Let me see if I can. I wonder if it's. Hold on. Instagram might pause for a second. Oh, it's already bright. Okay. Times a million on the overdone it soreness. Hell yeah. Your fans. Oh, your fans truly here from Malaysia. Welcome, Malaysia peeps. I love it. Let's see. There's a question here somewhere. Harry Alfie on Instagram. I do foam rolling for the first time. I did foam rolling for the first time the other day on my chest, and these red lines start to appear. I don't know what's happening, and it hurts more. I've learned the ways to do from a course I took. Is there any advice? First off, I don't know what you mean, so I'm not going to diagnose anything because you have red lines. I will tell you that if I do front squats or if I do back squats, and a lot of you probably have the same experience when you put the bar on your traps or your lower traps, a lot of times after you'll get little lines, little blood vessels that burst because of the pressure. So when I do front squats, like you can see it right here on like my collarbone, I have like bumps here, probably just like calcifications from having the bar there. Those little bumps right here on my, this is just, from having fucking hundreds of pounds right here racking, which means I have good form. But those kinds of lines, I'll get like bruise or like dark or red because you have weights there. So if you're foam rolling, it's common to have kind of like, to have like some kind of bruising. It's common to have bruising from foam rolling. It's common to have kind of like blood vessels. If it's more painful, I don't know what that means. If it's painful like the skin or inside, but just because you're foam rolling doesn't mean you're going to have less soreness. It's going to bring blood to that area. It's going to inhibit the muscle tissue. You're literally rolling it out like dough. So whether or not you feel better the next day or you're causing more damage, I can't speak on what you've said, but it's normal or common to have bruising from some people. Let's see. Annie, how old is ye old Papa Swolio? Oh yeah. So for those of you that haven't been following Papa Swolio over on Instagram, you gotta follow Papa Swolio. You gotta follow Papa Swolio over on Instagram. So I tagged her in my Instagram post, and she's probably 13, 14. She's up there. Little Papa Swolio. She's a cutie. And only eats real food. Sweet potatoes, grass-fed beef, and organ meats, and berries and stuff. She eats better than most of you. Dale, ever thought about using your platform to speak against factory farming? I already do. I mean, what am I going to do? Picket outside? My platform, I already talk about against factory farming, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do aside from talking about it? I've never said anything positive about factory farming. So I'm not sure what you mean, dude. Like, I always talk about how it sucks. I do it on my YouTube channel and everything. But aside from that, right there, I talked about it. I always speak against factory farming. It's not going to do shit. There's too much money involved. It's not going to happen from my podcast, unfortunately. But I'm definitely not in support of it. Good question, but meh. All right, let's take some more questions. Good questions, fam. Good questions. I love it. I don't love factory farming. That's for damn sure. All right, let's do another one. Brittany, oh, you know what? Let's go over to Facebook. Let's see if Facebook dropped anything. Facebook barely shows my posts to my fucking community. Facebook is notorious for just not showing anyone my fucking feed. Got so many people that follow me over there, and then no one sees my shit because their algorithm just, they don't give a fuck anymore. Holy shit. It's unfucking real. Unreal how Facebook just does not show anyone my stuff. Check this out, all right? So I post a picture on Facebook, right? I have 100,000 people that follow me over there, fans of the page. 400 people this post reached. 400 fucking people. One person, 2 people liked it. Because 2 people fucking saw the damn thing. So, not a single question over there on Facebook. Not a single fucking question. No one sees my shit. No one sees it. Or no one's got questions. So anyway, we'll go back to Instagram. Fucking people. Bullshit. It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. It's a scam. That's why you got to put post notifications on. If your notifications aren't on or you don't prioritize your feed, you're not going to see anything that I post. No, but the post, the one I posted, the Sunday Funday Q&A, where you ask your questions in the comments, 2 likes, no comments. No one sees it. No one sees this shit. Crazy. All right. Kimmy Lynn. I know you're pretty strict on the way you eat. I don't think I'm pretty strict. I eat the foods that I love, and I eat the foods that my body reacts best to. So I don't feel strict at all. I don't restrict my food at all. I don't. I eat amazing quality food. I fucking eat my bacon, I have my grass-fed beef, I have steak, sweet potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. I fucking feel amazing. So I don't restrict anything. And you recommend people to eat clean just like you. I recommend people to find the foods that work best for them. What advice would you give to someone who's recovering from an eating disorder? The same advice. Look, when you have an eating disorder or you're eating poorly or you're making bad decisions, you don't have a strong community. I recommend you listen to the podcast. I recommend you join in live. I recommend that you comment below. I recommend that you surround yourself online and in person with people that are positive, that will give you support. A lot of people suffer from addictions because they don't have that kind of support. They don't have that type of community. So that's a very important thing that people are usually lacking. Harry, what exercise do you always go to work that teardrop muscle? The vastus medialis. You can do sissy squats. You could do lunges, squats. I mean, your body will develop the quads fully if you're hitting them properly from all angles. I don't do anything to specifically target that area. I mean, if anything, for me, it's overdeveloped, like in terms of like an aesthetic thing. I don't need more of that. But that's usually the vastus medialis. That's usually like the last 10 degrees or so of motion, like that last extension port. So if you're getting, you might like some end range extension. But I get a lot of benefit from quads from doing like some deep knee flexion. So like sissy squats for me, for example, because you're getting that quad extension, but you're also getting that rectus femoris because the hips are in more an extension. I don't do leg extension machines. That's what I was thinking of. I don't do leg extensions anymore. I used to a long time ago. I don't like doing machines for legs. I don't like locking myself in position like that. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. The podcast benefits me greatly, keeps me on track, and keeps my mind in the right state. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. Have you ever had grass or beef heart filleted straight off the grill? No, I haven't. I have not had beef heart. Well, I don't personally mix it. It's mixed in. But no, I haven't had it perfectly. My dog eats pumpkin and kelp and turkey or beef and omegas. Only the best for my munchkin. I only would if I'm going to eat real food, my animal's going to eat real food too. That's the most important thing. I think people think that food, why should your dog be eating hard kibble fucking processed shit and you're going to be eating real food? It's fucked up. Let's see. Brittany Rouston on Instagram, because Facebook doesn't want to fucking show my picture. BCAAs and why they are shit. They're just not necessary. You get plenty from protein and from food. Does eating your carbs around your workout really help muscle growth? It can. Eating food overall will help with muscle growth. Do you need to eat more fat to get a nice ass? That has nothing to do with anything. Do you really need, what the fuck is this? Do you really need a certain amount of omega-3? Yes. Yes, you need nutrients, absolutely, to build muscle, for sure. I have been eating crap, including supplements, for years, things I'd call healthy, but were not. Not till I ended up with EGPA syndrome, and now I've taught myself so much in nutrition. Cool. Good shit. All right, you're okay. I didn't realize. I thought those were all questions going through. Yeah, I mean, you don't need those kinds of supplements. You don't need a protein powder. You don't need BCAAs. That's really bullshit. You don't need all. It's not the same. It's not going to be processing the same way. If you're doing hardcore endurance exercise and you're doing marathons or you're doing hardcore high level endurance, 2-hour workouts, maybe that kind of stuff will help you. But if you're just doing lifting, you don't need eat food. Eat food. You need to eat food. You need to focus on eating the right shit. Pal98, hey Papa, so I was diagnosed with bursitis in my knee. I've been using RICE to take care of it. RICE means rest, ice, compression, elevation, for those that don't know. It's an acronym. So I'm slowly able to start bending more and using pressure on it. Best exercises to reintroduce movement into the joint. I'm assuming you're with a physical therapist. If you're diagnosed, then you should refer to what your physical therapist is recommending for you. If you're slowly able to reintroduce, I would just, besides yoga, doing your yoga, man. Yoga covers all your aspects, and in addition to doing that, do what the physical therapist recommends. Steph Kitten, what was your background before you started your fitness business? I have a degree in exercise science. I've been in the industry for 15, 16 years. I taught for a school. I taught the NASM certifications, the CPT, PS, and CS. I taught that for 4 years at a vocational school. So it was a whole program geared towards preparing individuals to get their certification, to take the test, and to also start with careers. It was very hands-on to start careers in the fitness industry. So trained people to be personal trainers. Had the NSCA, the CSCS certifications. But like I mentioned in my recent Ask Papa Swole, I let those major ones expire because they're not necessary for me anymore. And they're really just certifications show a minimum competency. But when it comes to maintaining them, all it is you're going to conferences, spending hundreds of dollars. You're buying certain quizzes in order to get CEUs. And it's pretty much just a money pit of you giving them more and more money to say, hey, I'm still certified. So it doesn't teach you anything more than you can keep on learning and educating yourself on PubMed, looking at research, reading the latest releases. Once you have that fundamental information, unless you're working at a gym and you're required to hold those certifications, which makes sense, or if you're having in person, you need personal liability insurance. A lot of times they should require you to have a top certification, but I still have the CES and the PES, and I aced those, and I've held those for years and years, but it depends on what you need the certifications for. And information and education is great, but it never stops. It never stops. And what continuing education means is you continuing to learn and to absorb new information as it comes out. And unfortunately, those types of certifying bodies, they just charge and they charge and they charge and they charge, and they just don't deliver as dynamically as the internet can if you're invested in furthering your knowledge and information. So after all that higher level education and holding those top serve. You just kind of see things for the way they work as a business, and it was enough. So I had all that education. I still have it. You don't fucking lose it, but I'm moving faster and developing faster and learning faster than I ever could by wasting money to maintain certifications that are behind, in my opinion. Supplements are hilarious. I stopped all that, saved serious cash, and I look and feel better without any of it. Look into actual useful supplements if you need them. Vitamin D, magnesium, omega-3. I agree. I take those. I do a lot of fish oil. Excuse me. Do a lot of fish oil. You can do other types of like blends. You could do other types of krill oil, there's resveratrol, there's magnesium. I talked about that natural calm supplement that's really good if you have muscle cramping and for fatigue and exhaustion. Vitamin D is often needed, but human beings, we don't really know unless we're doing testing. A lot of times we'll just go and we'll take a multivitamin, but your chances, you might not be absorbing all of it. You might not need all of those things. You might not be lacking in some of those nutrients. So most of the stuff that you'll buy in terms of like bodybuilding supplements is really just a lot of filler and shit. And that's why they keep on getting caught as being scams. And now the whole Bang energy drink. People have been asking me that for months. I've said it's fucking shit. I didn't even know about all these lawsuits. It's full of crap. People are sucking down 3 or 4 cans of Bang energy and they're just pounding creatine. It's fucking disgusting. It's garbage. It's garbage. They're making a ton of money and then they're going to disappear. Or they'll stay around, but they're just fucking killing people. Do you recommend intermittent fasting if I'm reaching my goal to lose? Eating less food is always good for the body. People need to go without food more often. That's my opinion. I think people need to go without fucking eating more often. It depends. If your goal is to bulk up, you might need more time eating food. You might not want to go hours without eating if you're trying to get a surplus in, but it depends on your personal situation. But time restricted eating is great. Oh, you're welcome. I just wanted to thank you for your content and podcast. Since I found the Swole, I took my nutrition to the next level and found a love of yoga. Makes me happy. Music to my ears. Thank you, Andre. Oh, by the way, the workout gifts are the fucking smartest shit I've seen in a while. Thank you, dude. Much appreciated. And I'm going to be going live for those of you that are Swolenormous X members. I'm going to be going live and letting you know about the new thing that I'm posting with the foam rolling. Yeah, I think eating windows don't need to be that long. Under 12 hours. Keep it 8 to 12 hours. Your window of when you do eat doesn't mean you have to eat like for 12 hours straight or anything. Steph Kitten on Instagram. Oh, I just asked that one. Lydia Waring, do you think physical education should be a daily mandatory course from elementary through high school? If you're going to go to school, you should absolutely be doing physical activity every fucking day. Absolutely. Charles Albert Robinson, 12989. Hey, Papa Swole. What up, Charles? Big fan here. Thank you, dude. I wanted to get your take on an opinion on 5x5 style of training. Should I continue to train this way for the long term to get bigger or stronger, or is there something else you would recommend me to do? You can use that. I wouldn't do it without yoga and making sure that your posture is good and you're doing other types of dynamic training. It depends on what your experience is, what your goals are. You're just asking me, does 5x5 work? Yeah, for some people, for some goals. So it depends on the results that you want, the results that you're getting. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a valid way to address, strength and stuff. Usually anything under like, 5-6 repetitions is more of a strength output with longer rest periods. R093R, what should I do with a popped blood vessel in my armpit? I don't know. No fucking idea about that. You might want to check it out if it's painful or something's on. I have no idea what that looks like or what that would entail. So sorry to hear that. Tomboy Lizard. Hey, Papa Swole, my 8-year-old son has started a health kick after watching my husband lose 40 pounds during doing keto and me working out at home when I can't make it to the gym and watching your videos with me. He wanted to start weightlifting. I suggested yoga first because honestly, being a fat kid growing up and pediatricians telling my parents I was, quote, healthy, I don't know anything about children's fitness and I'm not sure if he should be lifting yet. Whenever we're all ready for him to lift, do you have any suggestions on how we should start with him? Yeah, just don't go to failure. He's 8 years old. And give him some light weights. He could do 10, 15 repetitions of 3-pounders or 5. Like, teach him the movements and body control, and yoga's fantastic. Everyone's really afraid of kids like doing physical activity. Kids are always picking shit up. What do you think a weight is, right? It's just concentrated, it's just an organized shape for resistance. Kids are always climbing shit. Kids are always picking up things. And the reason for that is they're building their muscles, they're building coordination, they're learning. It's evolution. So doing yoga, lifting weights is great. For fucking all ages. You can give a 5-year-old 1-pound dumbbells. Unless they smash themselves in the face or they drop it on their foot, all right, they learn. However, going to failure and doing concentrated bodybuilding and like doing tons of volume that's going to cause damage to their epiphyseal plate, which is their growth plate. I mean, you've heard like the horror stories. Oh, if you lift weights, you're going to stunt your growth. You have to do some serious fucking trauma. You have to do some really serious overload. And if he's just like kind of fucking around with you with some really light weights, let him. Be fine. He's be fine. He's not going to be doing like struggling to the end. Just give him some super light weights. Yeah, everyone's told that bullshit. And it's not bullshit, but can you imagine how much how fucking hard you have to train a child to cause damage to their growth plates? I mean, if you give them super light weight, just let them learn. Let them learn and be around you. You definitely want to encourage it. You want to absolutely encourage it. No, you can't yet. No, let them fucking join in. Just give them a bar, give them a PVC pipe. Give them something very light. Very light, very light. You're not crushing their joints. They're lifting toys and stuff. Anyway, they want to climb a tree. They're trying to climb your fucking couch. They can lift a 3-pound dumbbell. Let them fuck around. Absolutely. You want to encourage that kind of behavior. Eli's Odd World. Serious question. I do yoga and calisthenics. A friend of mine who is 50 plus really wanted to join me and she loves it. I toned down to 3 poses per day and we do a lot of core due to her past hysterectomy. She has 0 core engagement. All is well, but her lower back is very weak. Any suggestions on how to help her? Yoga and back off on the calisthenics. Focus on glute activation. Glutes, glutes, glutes. Glutes, 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 glutes. Glutesy, glutesy, glutesies. Glute activation exercise for sure. What barefoot shoes do you recommend? I like Vibrams and Vivo Barefoot. What are your essential go-tos for fiber and potassium? Vegetables. Veggies. Lots of veggies. Fiber. Real food. Veggies. Best life advice? Do what you fucking want. Create the life you want to live. Let's see here. And fuck everyone else's opinion. How about that? Hold on. I just lost the... for example, just so you all know, because we're going not long, but we're going long to Instagram is probably going to shut off because it only gives me an hour. I don't know how long this has been streaming for, but if it cuts off, I'll restart it. Does Swolenormous X plan come with a meal plan, or do we have pretty much to create our own based on the food you tell us? I don't tell you anything. When it comes to the Swolenormous X, you go through the elimination process to figure out what foods are best for you. You have recipes, and you also have the private community where everyone shares their food and their intake. And it's amazing. There's you have the private Facebook group, and you also have an entire community forum, which is just like Facebook embedded, and it's in the site. So where all the members share their food and their meals. So you have endless options for meals. You have endless options for elimination and people in support to guide you through. So it comes with a plan, but a plan of attack to learn how your body is supposed to eat. It's very, very dangerous and reckless, and it's straight up insulting to someone who knows better, where people offer other people meal plans. Eat this, have this amount of this. It's fucking dangerous and it's reckless. And most people could get their fucking faces sewed off for suggesting how much and what types of food someone should be eating. It's really dangerous. You have to guide people through what's right for them. There's so much bio-individuality with people's situations that you can't assume what is best for one person. Just don't throw cheese at them. Do you have to count calories or macros? Are you asking me? You tagged someone else. Do you have to count calories or macros? It depends on what you want. Above all, it's most important that you're eating the right foods for your body. Counting macros and counting calories it comes after, if you need to. I personally don't track that stuff. I don't care. I don't track how many calories I'm consuming. If I feel like I need to eat more, I eat more, but I don't weigh, I don't measure my percentages. I don't track every last thing like, ooh, let me go into MyFitnessPal and see what percentage I'm at today. That's not how a human being should live. You should be focusing primarily on what foods work best for your body. And once you have that, your likelihood of overeating is very, very slim. So it'll reset your hormones, your taste buds will reset, everything will kind of normalize, and you're able to make better decisions and you're able to judge those things much more naturally and dynamically. But you can always look into that later after you figure out what foods your body reacts best to. Instagram is going to shut off. We're sorry your live video has ended, and I don't think it fucking saved it. So unfortunately, I don't think Instagram saved the. Yeah. So Instagram shut off. So Instagram shut off, and I don't think it saved the live cast. It's been doing that. Once it goes to the end for the hour, I don't think it saved the first hour. So unfortunately, people, you're not going to be able to watch it later on Instagram. So, yeah, I'm going to have to start stopping it early. We'll do one more question. We're going to wrap this up. So for those of you that are just tuning into Instagram now, I don't think the first hour of this saved. So you're going to have to go rewatch it. If you're catching this part, go rewatch the other hour of the podcast on another platform. All right. So some of these questions will overlay into maybe pre-roll questions or Ask Papa Swole. Let's see. One more question. Let's do one more. Or two more. Kelton G, to be able to fit working out in my day, I am up at 4 to go to the gym. I am skinny fat and trying to lift weights to lower my body fat. I'm not really hungry at 4 a.m. and also don't want to spend my precious morning minutes making a whole food breakfast. Will it affect my progress to work out and lift on an empty stomach if I feel okay during my workout? No, it's perfectly fine. The Darkest Night, what's your advice for someone who struggles with loneliness? What I mean is, how do you become comfortable with it and use it to your advantage? I've struggled with it my whole life, but I've always struggled to get comfortable to use my advantage, to my advantage, although I know the real importance of it. I'm a little bit confused with your question because the second half, everything after the first question doesn't really make sense. What do you mean use it to your advantage? You're going to be, look, if you have goals, like I'm lonely, but not really. Like I shouldn't say I'm lonely. I isolate myself in many ways because I'm focused on what I'm doing. So what I'm doing right now, I'm not at the beach. I'm not hanging out. I'm not out drinking. I'm not out partying. I'm not out socializing. I'm doing a fucking podcast. So by having my own ambitions, I am not always fucking hanging out with tons of people. So loneliness is relative. It depends on what you want. And usually for anyone that's driven, that has goals, that has things that they want to accomplish, guess what? You have goals and you have things that you want to accomplish. You're not concerned with what other people want to accomplish. You. So if you have things that you want to do, that might not involve a lot of other people. You have to fucking focus on your own shit. If you have things that you need to do, then do it. And if a lot of people don't want to surround yourself or themselves with you, then fuck those people. Any kind of ambition, any kind of like focus and drive is going to have that element of, I guess, isolation, because not everyone's going to be not everyone's going to agree with you. I get that question a lot. It's like, I'm focused on my shit. If you want to hang out with me and you want to make some time to spend time with me, it's like, cool, then get on my schedule. Then we'll hang out when I'm free, when I'm available, and that's, you can call it selfish. Fine. I guess I am selfish. Good. I have things I'm doing. And if I'm busy, I'm fucking busy. If I'm busy, I'm busy. Oh, I can't. I have a podcast. Oh, I can't. I have to edit a video. Oh, I can't. I'm totally fine with it. I'm totally fine. It's up to you. You don't have to judge yourself. Are you lonely because you feel lonely? Or are you lonely because by what other people's standards, you're lonely? Lonely is a feeling. Isolation is a choice. Like, I'm isolating myself in many ways because no one's doing what I'm doing. No one wants to do what I do. Like, I'm focused on my own shit. So I'm doing things that I need to do. And I'm totally fine with it. I'm cool with this. I don't want to be in big crowded places around fucking tons of people. I like reaching people this way. It's much more effective for everyone. There you go. I'm blinded. I'm focused on my own shit. So, I mean, in terms of you, I would, if you're lonely, that's like a negative thing. If you're lonely, then go surround yourself with people. Do things that you want, but go do it in like a public forum where you can meet other people if you're actually lonely. If you're okay with that, then that's you. That's who you are as a person. That's totally fine. Don't let anyone fucking judge you. Fuck those jabronis. Sierra X007. As I'm wrapping up my second run through primer week, I'm becoming more and more frustrated with my lack of balance. Any tips on how to improve that? Practice. You're not going to, primer week is a week. You're not going to master balance in 2 weeks. You're not going to master balance in 2 weeks. It's going to take you longer than that. Just don't be frustrated. Don't beat yourself up. You're not trying to match what anyone, you're just trying to go by you got to do your thing. Do your thing. Don't stress yourself out. Just do your best. Keep on doing it. I think we have to end on this one. SKSTU. What's the male equivalent of a camel toe? Like, what are male fitness dudes doing that is just not cool and weird? Is it the Loch Ness shadow? Is it the bulked bicep on a scrawny arm? We need to know. I don't even have an answer to that. The Loch Ness shadow. Can we start that? Can that be a new thing? The Loch Ness shadow. Can we do that for guys that are doing like male camel toe? Was it male dolphin arm? What do we call it? Dolphin arm? It's like a baby's arm holding an apple. Loch Ness shadow. That's fucking amazing. I love it. From now on, it's called the Loch Ness shadow. And I don't know if there's an equivalent. All I know is that based on that video that I made, if you're concerned about your camel toe, then don't wear clothing that outlines your fucking camel toe. I don't think that's hard to comprehend. There are plenty of women that wear those types of tight things and you can't see the entire detailed outline of their vagina. Same thing with guys, right? If you don't want people to see your dick, then don't wear skin tight clothes where you show your dick. If you're showing your dick and you're cool with that, then other people can still voice their opinion like, oh, I want to see your fucking dick, bro. But don't show your dick and then, hey, everyone's looking at my dick and calling my dick, then don't wear clothes where we can see your dick. That was the issue with that video. I thought it was ridiculous that she was addressing it and like being self-conscious. Then don't fucking flaunt it. Don't put it out there and then complain that people are going to talk about it. It's hypocrisy at its finest, or worst. I thought the male camel toe was called a moose knuckle. I call regular camel toe moose knuckle. Maybe it is. Maybe I think that's interchangeable. As long as it looks like a moose knuckle, you can call it a moose knuckle. Hell, if a guy's sack looks like a camel toe, you call it a camel toe. Male toe, man toe, manto. Manto. This is manto. Manto. Is that what's trending? That's the current event, the Daily Swole. What's the latest? We got to start doing some fitness gossip here on the Swole. What's the latest? What can we talk about in the fitness industry? I don't know if there's anywhere to go that will there's really not fitness. There's really not trending stuff every day. I would love for this to be a daily show where there is like so much action. Like, hey, here's the latest going in the fitness industry. I'm just not plugged into like the news. And then I'll just turn into like a politics show. Let's see what CNN is doing. Let's see what that fucking bullshit. It's just so negative. Ugh. Like, you go to a news site and it's just death. It's just death and like sadness. Every single headline is just negative. Every single headline is negative. Doctors advise Mick Jagger to not go on tour. New York is expected to become the second state to ban single-use plastic bags. Elizabeth Warren's finance director is leaving. If you thought the warm weather was here to stay, you were wrong. Comedian Chris Rock roasts Empire star Jussie Smollett at NAACP Image Awards. It's fucking like 6 negative headlines, and that's top stories. None of that is a top story. None of that's a top story. All of that is garbage. This is fucking, it's like literally it's like collegehumor.com. There's no difference. All those major news outlets are fucking jokes. Let's see. Here we go. I am no longer vegan videos. Every single day we start with a brand new I'm not vegan anymore video. No, look, it's okay. It's good to know like what's going on in the world. At the same time, it's like, how do you really know? There's so much bullshit out there. There's so much information. It's hard to catch up on it. Frankie, Brittany Dawn hasn't posted since your video. Did we already talk about the fact that Brittany Dawn is pretending to take another break to heal herself? I have absolutely zero interest. I have zero interest in making any more content on that person. I really don't. There's nothing else that I have to say about that. I don't care. Look, I don't care what the fuck she does. I really don't. As much as I made videos, as much as it might seem like I care as so far that people got fucked and I think she should fix it. But after this point, it's like, what else am I going to say about it? What is anyone going to say about it? Until she actually starts fixing her image and doing, still has opportunity. She still has a chance to do it the right way. I gave her an option. I really do think she should do coaching calls and use the ad revenue to pay people back. Just do it. Just do it for a couple months. You'll get tons of views because people want their money back. Just do it. Let Google pay for it. I think it's the best idea. You don't have to have money. Just be transparent with the fact that you don't have the money. Show your ad. Everyone can see it on Social Blade. You can see your, how much around you're pulling in views and stuff. And just everyone can get tons of ad revenue. Let the ad revenue pay for people. Even if people are lying and, you owe me money, just get them off your back. Maybe it'll take a year. It'll rebuild your image, though. This is boring. It's a boring topic now, unfortunately. And look, what's going to happen is what I said. People are going to forget about it. People are going to stop talking about it because so many videos and it's all the same thing. And people are going to get bored and they're going to move on and they're going to try to do this lawsuit and people are just going to lose momentum. People are going to be like, fuck it. I don't want the money that bad anyway. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to do this. And it's probably just going to fall apart. Unfortunately, that is likely what's going to happen. Just because most people are just going to lose interest. As they probably should. Just move on with your fucking life. Really, I understand if you lost a ton of money, but it's like, as much as she fucked you over, it's also your fault for giving some jabronette money online that obviously didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. It's too bad. Everyone got fucked. No one won. I got some views, but no one really wins. I mean, the exposing of it will make people more wary. Unfortunately, that's why I was pissed off for people that were in the industry. That's why I was talking about it. Because it reflects poorly on everyone that's doing good shit in the fitness industry. And it will jade people from, joining programs and starting shit. Do you have any content that addresses your thoughts on marijuana? Like a whole content like video? I think it should be legal. Do you consider marijuana to be counterproductive to health and wellness? For some individuals, I'm sure it's counterproductive. Some people smoke and do what they need to do. It depends on your personal situation and what type and all that stuff. But I think people should be free to do what they fucking want. I think people need to take more responsibility for their own decisions. And I think it'll soon be legal everywhere, as it should be, and people can continue to make decisions that are best for them. Let's keep this going another hour. Unfortunately, we can't. We're done. Hey, look, I'm totally fine doing this. This podcast could pretty much almost be like a Q&A every day. It kind of is. We have topics though, but today was just completely all for you, of course. So any of those questions that might not have gotten answered, we'll be using those, of course, for pre-roll questions and also for other stuff like Ask Papa Swole. But just keep on checking out those posts. And if you're interested in checking out the Swolenormous X, entire Swolenormous X unlimited access to check out the Daily Swole Club, the blog, apparel, all of that over at swolenormousx.com. I'm going to be going live God, hiccups. I'm going to be going live in the private Facebook group for those of you that are Swolenormous X members because I want to explain and announce the latest drop on Swolenormous X about the instructional videos with foam rolling and myofascial release. Got a new video for that. So I want to give you all a little breakdown, say what's up, and I'll answer any questions you might have in there for members. So I'll be there momentarily. For everyone else, again, go to swolenormousx.com for all the details and everything we got to offer. And I will see you all here tomorrow for Monday, episode 1060 of the Daily Sleaze, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 1060. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.